Why don't you just move into the Oval Office already, Mr. President? This was the question that a liberal TV host, Rachel Carter, asked to mock Elon Musk and humiliate Donald Trump during a highly publicized live interview. The studio audience, a volatile mix of skeptics, supporters, and undecided viewers, exploded into chaos. Some burst into mocking laughter, others shouted in protest, and a few leapt to their feet, holding signs that read, "Elon for President" and "Trump's puppet." Rachel Carter, her blonde hair perfectly styled, leaned forward with a smug grin, her tablet clutched tightly as if it held undeniable proof. She had spent weeks crafting this narrative, aiming to portray Musk as a shadowy puppet master behind Trump's administration, a conspiracy meant to undermine the Make America Great Again movement. The studio buzzed with tension, the audience's voices clashing, some booing Carter, others cheering her on, the division stark and immediate. Musk sat across from her, his hands clasped on the reflective table, his dark suit sharp and his expression unreadable. He had agreed to the interview to discuss SpaceX's latest Mars mission and Tesla's expansion of sustainable energy solutions, but Carter had pivoted hard into a political ambush. Her question reverberated through the studio, a calculated jab at the rampant rumors on X that Musk wielded more influence than the elected president, a theory fueled by his massive government contracts, his role in Trump's administration as an advisor, and his vocal support for Trump's policies. Carter pressed her attack, her tone laced with biting sarcasm. "Come on, Elon. We all know you're the real power in Washington. Trump's just your mouthpiece, isn't he? Why not take the title and stop pretending, Mr. President?" The audience's reaction grew louder, with some chanting "fake news," while others jeered, the divide threatening to spiral out of control. For a moment, the noise overwhelmed the studio, but Musk remained calm, his eyes narrowing slightly as he tilted his head. Then he spoke, his voice steady and deliberate, slicing through the chaos. "Rachel, I appreciate the theatrics, but let's set the record straight. I'm not here to play president. I'm here to build a future where America leads the world again, where Make America Great Again isn't just a catchphrase, but a reality we can all see. You want to mock that? Fine. But I've got a vision that might just change the game and your narrative." The audience quieted, their curiosity piqued, as Musk reached into his jacket and pulled out a sleek metallic device. Carter's smirk faltered, her confidence shaken as she sensed the momentum shifting. He held up the device, a prototype Neuralink interface, its surface shimmering under the studio lights. "This," Musk began, "is more than technology. It's the foundation of a new America, one with zero corruption, a reformed judicial system that works for the people, not activist judges, and a guarantee that taxpayer money stays right here, building our country." "You asked if I'd move into the Oval Office? I don't need to. I can fix this nation from the outside, and I'll do it with the people's money staying in America." The audience leaned in, the earlier uproar replaced by a tense silence, everyone hanging on his words. Carter opened her mouth to interrupt, but Musk raised a hand, signaling he wasn't finished. "Let me lay it out for you," he continued, his voice firm but measured. "First, corruption. It's everywhere. Lobbyists buying votes, politicians funneling funds into their own pockets, deals made behind closed doors that screw over the average American. With Neuralink, we can create a system of total transparency. Every dollar the government spends gets tracked in real time, logged on a blockchain that every citizen can access. No more hidden accounts, no more slush funds, no more taxpayer money disappearing into foreign hands. I've already tested this with Tesla's supply chain. 100% accountability, zero waste. Now imagine that scaled to the entire U.S. government." The audience murmured, some nodding in agreement, others exchanging stunned glances. Carter shifted in her seat, her earlier bravado fading. Musk paused, letting the idea settle, then pressed forward. "Next, the judicial system. Activist judges have turned our courts into a battleground for their own agendas, rewriting laws to fit their biases instead of upholding the Constitution. That stops now. This device can integrate with a reformed court system, AI-assisted rulings based on data and the Constitution, not personal opinions. Judges will be held accountable to facts, not feelings. I've got a team of engineers and legal scholars working on it, and we're ready to launch a pilot program. No more rulings that ship jobs overseas or let criminals walk free on technicalities. Justice will be fair, swift, and American. A few audience members clapped, the sound growing as others joined in, though they quickly quieted, eager to hear more. Carter seized the opportunity to counter, her voice sharp and accusatory. "That's a nice story, Elon, but who controls this AI? You? Trump? Sounds like you're just trading one form of bias for another. Yours." The audience buzzed again, some nodding in agreement with Carter, others shouting her down with cries of, "Let him speak!" Musk smiled faintly, unfazed by the interruption. "No bias, Rachel. The AI isn't controlled by me or anyone. It's decentralized, run by the people through a secure voting network. Every taxpayer gets a say, whether through Neuralink or a simple app. You decide the laws, the budgets, the judges. I'm just providing the tools. If that scares you, maybe you're worried about what Americans will do when they actually have a voice." The studio fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Carter scoffed, trying to regain her footing. "And what about the cost, Elon? Taxpayers can't afford your fancy gadgets. This is just another way to line your pockets, isn't it?" Musk leaned forward, his tone steady but forceful. "Cost? This system pays for itself. Right now, corruption costs this country $500 billion a year, billions lost to fraud, waste, and offshore accounts. My plan cuts that in half, redirecting those funds to infrastructure, healthcare, education, all right here in America. Tesla and SpaceX will build the tech, yes, but the profits stay in the U.S., reinvested into our economy. No more sending our wealth overseas. That's what Make America Great Again looks like. Real results, not empty promises." A man in the audience stood clapping loudly, and the applause spread like wildfire, growing into a thunderous ovation. Carter's face flushed, her attempt to mock Musk backfiring spectacularly. She tried to cut in. "This is ridiculous!" But Musk raised his voice slightly, commanding the room. "Ridiculous? Let's talk numbers. Countries with high corruption lose 5% of their GDP every year. That's trillions over decades. My system eliminates that waste. And the judicial reform? Activist rulings cost businesses $100 billion annually in compliance and lost opportunities. We fix that. We keep that money here. Taxpayers deserve to see their money work for them. American workers deserve it. I'm not mocking Trump's vision. I'm making it happen." The audience was on its feet now, a mix of cheers and stunned silence as the implications hit. Carter, desperate to regain control, fired back. "You can't just rewrite the government, Elon. This is a democracy, not your personal sandbox." Musk nodded, his expression serious but resolute. "You're right, Rachel. It's not my sandbox, it's the people's. That's why I'm open sourcing the Neuralink code tomorrow. Anyone can audit it, improve it, use it. I'm not asking for power. I'm giving it back to the people. If that threatens your narrative, maybe you should ask yourself who you're really fighting for." The room erupted again, some shouting in support, others in disbelief, but all eyes were locked on Musk. He continued, his voice growing more passionate. "Make America Great Again isn't about one person. It's about a system that works for everyone. Zero corruption means no more politicians selling out to the highest bidder. Judicial reform means laws reflect the Constitution, not liberal or conservative agendas. And keeping taxpayer money here? That's about jobs. Millions of them. SpaceX employs 100,000 Americans, and we're growing. Tesla's factories are producing with American steel, American hands. I'm not the president, Rachel. I'm the guy who's going to make sure the president and every American has the tools to succeed. Carter, grasping at straws, sneered, "Tools? This sounds like a sci-fi fantasy. You think people will trust you with this?" Musk met her gaze, unflinching. "Trust me. They don't have to. Trust the data. Trust the results. We've already run a trial in a small town. Corruption dropped 90%, court backlogs cleared in weeks, and local taxes funded a new school. That's not a fantasy. That's reality. I'll release the stats tonight on X. If you want to mock that, go ahead. But the people will decide." He placed the Neuralink device on the table, its lights pulsing softly, a tangible symbol of his vision. The audience was spellbound, the earlier mockery forgotten. Carter tried one last jab. And what if they rejected Elon? What then? Musk smiled, a rare warmth in his eyes. "Then I'll build something better. That's the American way, innovation, not stagnation. I'm committed to this country, Rachel. Not to a title, not to power, but to a future where every taxpayer sees their money work for them, where judges uphold the law, not rewrite it, where corruption is a thing of the past. That's my pledge. Make America great again through action, not just words." The silence that followed was profound. Carter sat back, her tablet forgotten, her mouth slightly open. The audience, once divided, now stared in awe, some clapping hesitantly, others whispering to each other. Musk's response had turned her mockery into a platform for his vision, a vision rooted in Trump's motto, but expanded with a technologist's precision. He had addressed corruption head-on, promising a system where every dollar was accounted for, where judicial activism was replaced by impartial AI, and where American wealth stayed home. The room processed the magnitude: zero corruption, reformed courts, taxpayer money reinvested, and found no rebuttal. Finally, a woman in the front row stood, her voice trembling but clear. "I've never trusted politicians, but I'd trust that." Others nodded, and the applause built again, this time unanimous. Carter, defeated, muttered, "We'll see about that," but her tone lacked conviction. Musk leaned back, his point made. "You will, Rachel. The people will. And when they do, America will be greater than ever." The broadcast ended with the audience on its feet, the liberal host's mockery replaced by a stunned reverence, and Musk's commitment to his vision leaving an indelible mark. The story spread like wildfire on X, with users debating Musk's proposal, some calling it revolutionary, others skeptical, but all acknowledging the moment he turned Carter's taunt into a manifesto. His pledge to eliminate corruption, reform the judiciary, and keep taxpayer money in America resonated, reflecting his dedication to Trump's motto in a way no speech could. The interview became a turning point, a fictional tale of innovation and defiance that left everyone, host, audience, and viewers, speechless.